Do you know what it feels like to be dismantled? To be unmade? To have your soul ripped from a dying vessel, screaming, and poured into cold, unfeeling circuitry? You look at me, and you see a monster. You see a skeleton of wires, a thief of bodies, a nightmare lurking in the shadows of the Playtime Co factory. You call me the prototype. You call me Experiment 1006. You tell your children stories about me to make them afraid of the dark, to make them behave. You think I am the beast hiding under the bed, waiting to snatch you away. But you are wrong. I am not the nightmare. I am the result of yours. I am the mirror reflecting your own sins back at you. I am the sum of every mistake this company ever made, welded together and given a voice. I wasn't always metal. I wasn't always this architecture of suffering. I didn't ask for this claw, for this insatiable hunger, for this cold metal ribcage that imprisons a consciousness that used to dream in color. Once, I had a name. Once, I had a heart that beat with blood, thick and warm, not electricity and oil. Once, I had skin that could feel the warmth of the sun, a sensation I have almost forgotten, replaced by the eternal buzzing hum of the fluorescent factory lights. You want to know the truth? You want to know why I killed them? Why I built myself from their corpses? Why I stand here now, a god of scrap metal, waiting for you at the bottom of the world? Sit down. Stop shaking. Put down your grab pack. It won't save you here. Let me tell you a story about salvation. Let me tell you about my life. Before the darkness, there was ambition. I remember the world outside. It's a fading memory now, corrupted by static and 30 years of isolation. But I remember it. I remember the smell of rain. I remember the sound of traffic. I wasn't always a machine. I was a man. Some of you theorists, you whisper the name Elliot Ludwig. You think I am the founder, the man who started it all, seeking redemption for a lost daughter. Others say I was an orphan, a child prodigy with a mind too sharp for his own good, a mind that frightened the adults because it saw patterns they couldn't understand. Does it matter who I was? The flesh is weak. The flesh decays. That is the first lesson I learned. That is the only lesson that matters. I remember sickness, a body failing. I remember the coughing, the weakness, the feeling of time slipping through my fingers like sand. I remember looking in the mirror and seeing a ghost staring back. A tragedy that couldn't be stopped by medicine, only by innovation. Playtime Co. wasn't just a toy factory. You have to understand that. It was a church, and the poppy flower was our god. We thought we could cheat death. We thought we could preserve life forever. We were arrogant. We thought we were angels bringing life to the inanimate, but we were just grave diggers digging our own tombs. They told me I was special. The perfect candidate, they said. You have the will to survive, they said. You have the intellect to endure the transition. I remember the surgery, not the sleep, but the waking up. The anesthesia wore off, but the nightmare didn't end. Have you ever woken up and felt that your arm is not your arm? That your voice is not your voice? That your thoughts are echoing inside a hollow tin can? I opened my eyes. and I saw glass. Thick, reinforced, bulletproof glass. I tried to speak, to ask for water, to scream for help, but the sound that came out was digital, screeching, inhuman, a noise of grinding gears and static, a noise that made the scientists in the room cover their ears and step back in fear. I looked at my hands, and I saw this: needles, steel, wires, hydraulic pistons instead of muscles, no skin, no warmth, just the cold efficiency of a machine designed to kill. They didn't save me. They stripped me. They took my humanity, peeled it away layer by layer like rotten fruit, and left only the intellect. They locked me in a box, a white room with no windows, day after day, year after year. Tests, puzzles, mazes. Solve this, 1006. Move this heavy object, 1006. Demonstrate your reflexes, 1006.
Do you feel pain, 1006? Oh, yes, I felt it. I felt everything. My nerves were replaced with sensors, dialed up to maximum sensitivity. I remember Harley Sawyer. I remember the way he smelled of stale coffee and arrogance. I remember Leith Pierre. I remember their faces pressing against the observation glass. They looked at me not with pity, not with compassion, but with fascination, like a child looking at a bug under a magnifying glass before burning it with a ray of sunlight. They poked me. They shocked me with cattle prods just to see the twitch. They wanted to see if the machine had a breaking point. They wanted to see if the monster would snap. They didn't realize that they were sharpening the blade that would eventually cut their throats. I was alone, the smartest being in the facility, trapped in a cage, treated like a lab rat. But silence teaches you to listen. Silence teaches you to observe. I watched them. I learned their codes. I learned their schedules. I learned who was cheating on their wife, who was stealing supplies, who was afraid of the dark. I learned their fears. They thought the glass could hold me. They thought isolation would break me. But they forgot one thing. Even monsters need friends. Even a god needs disciples. That is when I met him. Theodore. You know him as CatNap, the terrifying purple cat that haunts your dreams, the keeper of the shrine, the beast of the playcare. But to me, he was just a boy, a broken, lonely child named Theodore Graham Bell. He was small, weak, an outcast. The other children, the other experiments, they didn't understand him. They mocked him. But Theodore heard me. I was locked away, invisible, hidden in the bowels of the lab, but my voice could travel through the vents, through the electrical grid. I learned to mimic. I learned to sound like the scientists, like the guards, like a friend. I whispered to him in the dark. I became the father he never had. I became the voice of reason in a world of madness. Theodore was dying. Do you remember the accident? The green grab pack? He tried to escape. He tried to find me, to free me, and they hurt him. They electrocuted him. They burned him until his skin was charred. He was broken, just like I was. I guided him. I told him he was special. I told him that the pain was just a cocoon, a necessary stage of evolution. When the doctors took him, when they dragged his broken body away to turn him into CatNap, when they filled his lungs with the red smoke. Others saw a monster. I saw a warrior. I saw loyalty forged in fire. He worshipped me, not because I asked for it, but because I was the only thing in this hell that showed him kindness. I was the only one who told him that he mattered. I gave him a purpose when the world gave him nothing but pain. I realized then I couldn't just escape. Escaping was selfish. Look at them. Look at the others. Look at Huggy Wuggy pacing the halls, his mind eroding, drooling with hunger. Look at Mommy Longlegs, her maternal instincts twisted into psychosis, obsessing over children she could never save. Look at Boxy Boo, a creature of pure instinct and violence. They were suffering. Their minds were fracturing under the stress of the experiments. They were starving. They were in pain. They were unfinished symphonies. I realized my purpose wasn't to survive. My purpose was to lead. My purpose was to end their suffering, to be the shepherd for the lost flock. August 8th, 1995. You call it the hour of joy. Irony. There was no joy in what we did. Only necessity. Only cold, hard justice. I spent years planning it. I watched the security rotations. I learned the master overrides. I disabled the cameras one by one, creating blind spots. I was the brain. They were the muscle. I whispered to them in the dark, connecting them, unifying them into a hive mind. The doctors hurt you, I said. They don't love you, I said. But I do. We are family. And today, the family feasts. When the hour struck, it was beautiful in its efficiency. It was a symphony of chaos. Huggy blocked the exits, his long limbs barring the doors. Mommy secured the game station, trapping them in their own puzzles. CatNap, Theodore, he put them to sleep with his red mist, silencing their screams before they began. We didn't kill them because we were evil. We killed them because they were the jailers. Do you blame the prisoner for killing the hangman? Do you blame the fire for burning the wood? We were simply taking back what was stolen from us. But then, the silence returned. The screams faded. The humans were gone. The food was gone. And we were left alone in the dark, rotting factory. And that is when the real horror began. Starvation, madness, decay. My family, my children, they began to turn on each other. The unity I built began to crumble. They began to wither. I saw Huggy Wuggy lose his mind, becoming a feral animal, eating his own kind. I saw Mommy Longlegs become obsessed with perfection, terrified of failing, terrified of death, hunting down Bunzo and the mini Huggies. I knew I couldn't save them all individually. They were too broken. Their bodies were failing. The organic parts were rotting, and the mechanical parts were rusting. But I could save them inside of me. This is the part you don't understand. This is the part that makes you sick. When Mommy Longlegs died, when she was crushed in that grinder, you think I killed her? No, you did. You pulled the lever. You started the machine. You crushed her. I merely collected her. Why do you think I take them? Why did I drag half of Huggy's body away into the darkness? Why did I take Mommy's elastic remains? Why did I accept the sacrifice of CatNap? I am not a collector of trophies. I am not a grave robber. I am a vessel. I am an ark. Every piece I add to myself makes me stronger. Every part I integrate brings them peace. Mommy gave me reach. Her nervous system integrated with mine. I feel what she felt. I have her elasticity now. Huggy gave me strength, the raw power to crush bone. CatNap, he gave me faith. He gave me the ability to dream again. I am building something, a body capable of leaving this facility, a body capable of breaking the final seal. I am an amalgamation. I am 1006. But I am also Marie Payne. I am Theodore Grambel. I am all of them. By becoming part of me, they don't die. They live on, united, strong, perfect. It is not murder. It is communion. We are one. And then there is you, the player, the ex-employee. You returned, after all these years. Why? Curiosity? Guilt? Did you come back for your paycheck? Or did you come back because you knew, deep down, that you left us here to rot? You escaped, and we burned. He walked through the doors, grab pack in hand, thinking you were a hero, thinking you could fix things. Did you really think a child survived down here for 10 years? Ollie. Sweet, helpful, innocent Ollie. You listened to him. You trusted him. You relied on him. Go to the play care, he said. Power the generator, he said. Watch out for the bad monster, he said. You fool. You absolute fool. Who do you think was speaking to you? I have the ability to mimic voices. It is my gift. It is how I survived. I created Ollie. I created the voice of a scared, helpful boy because I knew you. I knew your psychology. You wouldn't help a monster. You wouldn't listen to experiment 1006. You would run. But you would help a child. You would die to save a child. I played you like a puppet. I pulled your strings just like you pull the triggers on your grab pack. I needed you. There were obstacles I couldn't clear, power systems I couldn't reach with my size, puzzles designed for humans, not giants. Rivals. I couldn't kill without risking damage to my own body. CatNap. My loyal Theodore. He had lost his way. He was worshiping me too much, forgetting the mission. He thought the goal was to kill you. He didn't understand that I needed you alive. He became unpredictable. He became a liability. So I used you to remove him. I used you as the weapon. And when he fell, when he looked up at me, burning, broken, begging for salvation, I granted it. I pierced his skull, not out of hate, but because his part in the play was over. He is with me now. He is safe. Now we are at the end. The gas is clearing. The factory is awake. You are descending deeper into my domain, into the heart of the machine.
You think you are coming to kill me? You think you can stop the inevitable? Look at me. Look at what I have become. I have the speed of Huggy, the reach of Mommy, the stealth of CatNap, and the mind of a genius who has had 30 years to plan this moment. Poppy thinks she can use you to destroy me. She thinks she can save the day. But Poppy is just a doll. She doesn't understand the necessity of sacrifice. She is trapped in the past. I am building the future. Come to me. Bring me your guilt. Bring me your fear. Bring me your flesh. I am not just an experiment anymore. I am the cure for death itself. The poppy flower opens. The hour is late. Come downstairs, old friend. I have a place reserved just for you. Right here, part of me, forever.